Good evening, friends. And today we have the fourth lecture on vectors. So last class I discussed about the magnitude of the vector, and then unit vector is the situation which I have discussed extensively. I think I discussed. And now we go with the negative of a vector. What is negative of a vector? This is like notes. You can pause the video and then you can note it down. Absolutely, there should not be any problem. So what is negative of a vector? Negative of a vector is given by this. The vector whose magnitude is same as that of a bar, but the direction is opposite to that of a bar is called negative of a bar and is written as a minus a bar. So this is a bar in the forward direction and b bar is minus a bar exactly in the opposite direction. So that is what the negative of a vector. Okay, now let us move on. So the position vector, this I discussed with you earlier. So the what is a position vector? Position vector represents the position of an object in a plane with respect to a fixed point, that is origin of coordinate system. Let O be the origin and P is any point, and OP bar is called position vector of P with respect to origin O. It can be represented by a single letter R bar. OP bar is equal to R bar. Okay, you can represent this vector as a single letter R bar, and always OP bar is your R bar. So that's called a position vector. I explained the position vector is like how to write it as a point. I think all these things I discussed in the earlier video, but as per the notes, this is how you can see this. So the length of the vector R bar represents the magnitude of the vector, and its direction is the direction in which P lies as seen from O. So this is what connecting from O to P. So in which direction the P is when you stand at O, and then in which direction P is there, that is the vector OP bar, and that's what the position vector is. So I hope you got this. Now let us move on further. So what are equal vectors? So what are equal vectors? Two vectors are said to be equal if their magnitudes are equal, they are parallel, and they have the same sense of direction. They need not have the same initial point. This is very important. They need not have the same initial point. And now here you can see that this is A and C. They have two different initial points. They are equal to each other, but the length of the vectors are same. So you can say AB bar is equal to CB bar. So those are called equal vectors. Okay, shown, and the length of AB is equal to the length of CD, and AB and CD have the same sense of direction. So in mathematics, what does it mean is, okay, this may sound different, okay, for you, but I'll clarify that what does it mean. So, sir, you may have a doubt that, sir, the parallel lines, if I consider two parallel lines, so this is a general doubt what the students will get. If I consider two parallel lines in a coordinate system, let us say this point is A and this point is B, and this point is A and this point is D, and let us say the point coordinates are x1, y1, z1, and this coordinates are x2, y2, z2, x2, y2, z2, and the C coordinates are x3, y3, z3, and the D coordinates are x4, y4, z4. So you have these coordinates, and now there is something called the DRs, the direction ratios. So which explains the direction in which the AB bar is actually. So if you consider the direction ratio, what does direction ratios is simple, as simple as that. X2 minus x1. What you have to do is you find the coordinates x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1 and z2 minus z1. And this set of things, these are called direction ratios. And if you consider the DRs of, you can say this AB, and you can say that CD, the DRs of CD is like the final point minus initial point. This is what you have to do. So it is like x4 minus x3, y4 minus y3, z4 minus z3. So when you do that, that's called the direction ratios. So these direction ratios will remain the same if you have the parallel vectors of equal magnitude. So that's why you can say AB bar is equal to CB bar. it's generally when you draw the coordinate system, if you have the parallel lines and the points are different, the position vectors of A, B, C, D, they are all entirely different. But when you consider the difference between the coordinates, along the same vector, so it remains the same for that vector. So that's why this is called these differences will show the direction in which AB bar is. This differences will show the direction in which CD bar is. That's why they are called direction ratios. So this direction ratios will remain the same for the parallel vectors and the equal vectors. The equal vectors, this direction ratios remain the same. This is the idea what you need to have. And then for the parallel vectors, the direction ratios will be proportional. We'll come to that point later. So this is what the direction ratios concept is. And now, how do you generate the vector? Once you have this, the vector can be generated by the funda that x2 minus x1 I cap plus y2 minus y1 j cap plus z2 minus z1 k cap. So this is how you generate the vector AB bar. So as simple as that. Once you know the direction ratios, it's very easy to generate the vector. So this is the idea between the vector and the point, the direction ratios. Now let's move on. I hope I have clarified some of the points. The properties of a vector. Vector can be bound. The vectors in which the point of application of and direction are both fixed. So those are called bounded vectors. So such type of vectors position is fixed and is called bounded vectors. Okay. So it's like a displacement vector. These 2 points are fixed points. Okay. So it's a bounded vector. When you consider displacement, this length is the fixed. You have a fixed length. Okay. Fixed length. When you have a fixed length, what you generate is a bounded vector. So the vector is bounded between these 2 points. So that's what the idea is. So next one. Vectors can be sliding. So in sliding, the position, the point of application is shifted along the original line of action without any change in the magnitude and direction. Suppose you have OA bar, you can slide it to another position like this. Like this, you can slide. Shift of position OA bar is shown over here. So that is what about this vector sliding. Okay. So let's move on. Vectors can be moved freely. This is another very important concept. See, like this, you can slide and move. Both the things you can do. But the direction should not change, which means that suppose a vector I draw, I can always draw a parallel vector like this. And again, I can slide this vector. So this property is used like this. I want to show this one especially. So suppose you have 3 vectors like this. Now, out of these 3 vectors, I want to construct a triangle. So that is, let us say this is R1, R2, R3. Okay, these are 3 vectors. R1 bar, R2 bar, R3 bar, 3 vectors are there. Now I want to make a triangle out of it. Yes, I can do that, but just drawing a parallel vector to R3, I can do that. So this is the way I can do this. So this is one way. So many ways are there. Like you can slide this vector up, and then you can slide this vector up. You can do this vector like this, and then draw a parallel vector like this. You can do that. So it's allowed. You can do that. But while doing this process, you should not change the direction of the vector. That is most important. The direction of the vector should not change. In fact, it is like that. How do I know that whether I am changing the direction of the vector or not? So suppose this is my x-axis. So the direction is given by the angle. Suppose this is the vector, what I have generated. So the vector, how much angle it makes with the x-axis, that should be fixed always. So that you keep in mind. So let us say that is the vector is making an angle theta with respect to x-axis. So even if I slide the vector like this, then it changes its position, but the angle it remains the same. Okay, that is a funda what I wish to tell you. So here I can draw a parallel vector. That's what I can draw a parallel vector to the original vector without changing the magnitude. And if the theta remains the same, because I'm drawing the parallel vector, theta remains the same with respect to x-axis. So I'm drawing with respect to x-axis. If the angle with respect to x-axis remains the same, you can always do that. Sir, you may get the doubt once again. Sir, if I just simply if I simply push the vector from one point to this point, the coordinates of the vector have already changed. So how do you account for that? Again, this doubt arises for every student, almost. This doubt arises to me. So it can be clarified like what I told you before. That is the direction ratios. So if I have two parallel lines, once again, I'm explaining that if I have two parallel lines, the direction ratios will remain same. So the direction ratios will remain same if you have the parallel. So the reason, even if you slide the vector, or you slide the vector, or you translate the vector, this is called translation of the vector, without change in the direction. That's what you have to keep in mind. Without change in the direction. If you do that, direction is founded by with respect to the angle with respect to x-axis. One of the reference you have to take, in which way I had to take the direction. One x-axis horizontal with respect to horizontal, in what direction it is moving. So that is how you can think of the direction. Okay. Or you can take the reference with the y-axis also. It doesn't matter. If you are taking with respect to y-axis, the direction happens to be with 90 minus theta. That's only the variations what you have. Simple variations. I hope you got this idea. Sir, I don't want to take with respect to x-axis. I want to take the variation. I want to check the direction with respect to y-axis. Yes, you can do that. Absolutely no problem. You can do that. So if at all my assumption is theta, your assumption becomes 90 minus theta. That's only the variation what you get. Okay, I hope you got this funda right now. So anyway, what's in here, I'll read. And free movement of the vector, its point of application can be changed without any change in the magnitude and direction of the vector, and is always parallel to the original line of action. This is what I was telling. So this is what I was telling. Yeah, why you can do that, that also I explained this with the help of the direction ratio. Direction ratios are not going to change once you are doing this. Okay. As OA bar has been shifted to a new position as shown in the figure 1.13. So that's how you can do this stuff. So okay, now so at this point I stop, and then this angle between the vectors is the point which I cover, and then we move on to the next lecture. So what is angle between the two vectors? Angle between the two vectors means the smaller of the two angles between the two vectors when they are placed tail to tail by displacing either of the vectors parallel to itself. And that theta should be less than 0, less than theta, less than pi. It should be less than 180. So the idea is that what you need to have is angle between the vectors to be taken only when their tails are matched. Angle between the vectors to be taken only when the tails of the vectors are matching. Otherwise, you should not take the angle. So in this situation, so you see, this is not the angle. This is not the angle. This will be the angle. Why it is like this? So this A bar is slided over here, and then this is the angle between the vectors. And now A bar, B bar, you see the tails are matching here, and then that's the angle between the vectors. I hope it's clear. I hope it's clear. And here theta represents the angle between the vectors A bar and B bar. So let me explain this. So it's like this. So the first vector, this is the second vector. This is like A bar, and this is B bar. Okay. And now the tails are matching, hence you can take the angle theta. So in the second situation, let me draw. This is like this, one vector. Here you see the head and tail have matched. Head and tail match. So this is not the angle. This is not the angle. So this one have to be slided in such a way that the tails of the vector should match. So when the tail of the vector is matching, then this will be the angle theta. Okay. And this angle happens to be your 180 minus theta. If head and tail are matching, the angle, this angle, what you see over here is actually 180 minus theta. Because this entire line, if you consider this is theta and this is 180 minus theta, this is a straight angle, they form a linear pair. So that is the idea what you all need to have. A linear pair means if sum of the angles is 180. So if this is theta and this happens to be 180 minus theta, and then you can call this two angles as linear pair, because once if I remove this line, what I'm going to get is total 180 degrees for this straight line. Okay, so that is the idea I want to convey here. And now suppose B bar is here, you can do, instead of sliding A bar, you can construct a vector B bar here. That also you can do. You can construct a parallel vector to B bar. You can do that. Reason I told you, once again I'm telling, the reason is that why you can draw the parallel vector, because you are maintaining the same direction ratios all the time. So these are the points I wish to tell you here in this particular lecture. And then in the next lecture, let's meet. I hope you like this lecture, and then I hope it's informative for all of you. And then I hope you like it, and then please give a like, hit a like, share, subscribe, and then hit the bell. Thank you all. And I wish all of you make this channel a big success. Thank you all.